In the water pump kit, there's this, which is a seal tool. You can slide your seal. This is the seal. It goes on top. And it's kind of the same thing. Spray a little bit of soaking grease and just helps it go on easier. But you've got this one, and it's just gonna go down, and it's got a cup, so it kind of goes around the side of your water pump, and it's just gonna slide down the spline. You can see how hard it would be without that tool. Boom. So now that's on. So the kit's going to come with these two O-rings, which go on the engine side. On the water tube that's to the engine, I'm sorry. I guess the next thing to do is I need to put a little bit of grease on the splines. And you want it 2,4C. I'm going to put on the shift shaft, the splines, and the splines of the prop. And then basically this is ready to go back on. So I'll just show you what I'm doing. Just put a little bit of grease in it. It's probably excessive. And then we're going to put a lot around the splines. And should be plenty. More than enough. And then we'll put some down here. And this thing's ready to go back on the boat. Back on our shift shaft, we got a rubber washer. And then we got our little shift shaft key. Guys say to put some on the shaft, but I don't know. It seems like that would pick up a lot of dirt. I'm just gonna clean it off, make it all nice. Seems like that would pick up dirt, and then that would cause it to rust. What I'm talking about is some guys put oil up and down this shaft. I think what happens is then dirt collects to it, and it's got, you know, any type of minerals in it, then it's going to cause this to rust. So I'm not doing it. But I do think on the splines, like Mercury suggests, is a good deal. So, and when I put it on the splines, when I put that grease on those splines, you don't really want it on top. You can go around lightly, but you don't want a whole bunch of grease on top, because then it would cause it to, like, I guess they'd call it hydrolock, or, you know, it's hydraulic. Can't, so if you had a big bulb of grease here, it can't push down, it's gonna do that. Anyway, it'd make it easier to go on. So yeah, this is serviced and ready to do its magic. So anybody can do this, not hard. The kit's got a few extra little washers and stuff that I guess is for different motors. You know, again, my impeller was actually pretty good, but I just went ahead and replaced it. I mean, you might as well, you're in there. If one was the vein, one of these veins was weak, then it would break off and fail, and you know, that thing is like $4,000, so might as well replace the, you know, replace the impeller. And why not? You're in there. So goes on the same way it came off. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow, and I'm pretty happy that fixed our leak, and this thing should be good to go for at least for, you know, a year or two, depending on how much you run them. You know, just check your oil every once in a while if you still got good oil. Shouldn't have any issues. Should check them periodically anyway, just to make sure you don't have any fish in line, and you don't have any water in the oil, and this thing should last for a good amount of time. So yeah, if you can see there's the tube. We'll need to connect that, and then we'll need to connect this water line. Now whenever I put the bolt that I took out, that I should have taken out first before I started the whole process, is this one. After you take the trim tab off, take this bolt out, then do your 4 bolts. Yeah, I should have done that. I put some 2,4-C on the bolt, and I'll just smear that around it pretty good. Do that on all the bolts out here. So I'm gonna have to fire up my thing so I can pump out some grease. I just put some grease around the 2,4-C. Now we're ready to kind of put it on in reverse of what I did earlier. Alright, so my water tube come off. I had to kind of mess with it. I did put it on. I should have shown putting it on, but went up. If it doesn't want to go in, just turn your shaft just a little bit, and then it'll work its way in. I did this by myself. It's cold, but so you can do it by yourself. So anyway, I can tighten these down, But yeah, you just get one bolt started. I did it without the washer, and then I put the other ones on with the washer, and then I came back and I got it tight, and then came back and just took and put my washer back on, and you can see it go all the way up. But I got it tight right now, so I get a wrench and tighten them down. So obviously I messed up because I got my shifts was not in. I have to drop it. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, take one bolt, get it started. Before I get too far, we'll go ahead and put this bolt in. It is 9/16. So I'm just putting that bolt back. Alright, that's tight. Alright, now I can put our trim tab on. So we'll line up our marks. Goes 1/2 inch. Right. get it started first, I guess.
Hello? This is Jeff. Oh, okay. Which make?
So, sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call. Alright. So the next thing to do is to put the prop on.